We are in the Fantasy Cup, and in Fantasy Cup, we are running the Haxorus, Registeel, and Giratina. First matchup, we have a positive matchup. They immediately switch out into the Giratina. This Giratina, as a switch-in, kind of a problematic thing. We go for the breaking swipe to kind of debuff their Giratina, and then we come in with our own Giratina. So now we can potentially... Oh, I was going to say we could potentially throw a move on CMP, but it looks like they win the CMP. We let it go. We now technically have a farm down opportunity, and let's see what we do here. Looks like we're going to try our best to farm this Giratina down with this Registeel. I think we're not quite going to be able to farm it down, so we decide to just completely undercharge the flash cannon. We don't even get any extra fast moves on it, so that ended up being not the play. We are able to get to this Focus Blast to guarantee a shield. Here we're going to force them to throw energy, and we decide to shield that, and now we have a wheezing here. This is kind of a bad situation. We have to go for the bait. Do we get the shield? No. So unfortunate for us, we did not get the last shield. We had the earthquake energy, but they just called my bait, and now it's just GG's. Giratina as a switch-in is a problem, considering we are running the ABA with Dragon. So something to kind of keep in mind in going forward here. We did shield the overheat here. This overheat is going to be even more debuffed. It doesn't take us out, and it looks like we are able to get to another Focus Blast here. This is definitely going to take out the Sand Slash, and now it's just a race. Can we get to this Flash Cannon before they get to it? And we do, barely. GG's to our opponent right there. Somehow, some way, we were able to sneak away with that win right there. That XL Registeel came in absolute clutch right there. Next game here, let's see what we face. That was a really close game. Like I said earlier, this is an ABA Dragon team. So essentially, we want to do our best to just stay in the lead and win the lead or soft lose. Here we have the Mirror Haxorus. This is going to be a CMP tie situation, and apparently their Haxorus beats our Haxorus in the attack stats. We actually are going to try to see if we can wiggle out of this situation. We try to catch a move. They do a great job of anticipating it, and this is probably an earthquake, but because we debuffed it, this shouldn't KO, which is the case. Now we're gonna have Focus Blast energy to throw at this Escavalier. Does roughly 60%. They actually throw the move. So we are getting pretty lucky here. They actually threw the move. They definitely could have farmed down. Now we're gonna have the Giratina come in and try to farm it down, I hope. We're gonna have to tank a drill run here, and then that is a full farm down, which is great. Now we have energy for the Haxorus if it ever comes back, and we just hope for the best. Looks like we have the Tapu Fini in the back. One shield each. This is just going to be a matter of who can bait what and who can actually whittle each other down. We are able to get to these Shadow Sneaks. They don't have to shield until later. Here we decide to try to catch a move, even if it's a Moon Blast, even if it's Serve. This is a great catch right here because we are going to be able to debuff them and get some chip damage away. So good chip damage right there. They decided to counter swap. We know that we have the energy advantage, so we're going to throw this move before they get to theirs. They have to shield because they have their move. Now we are forced to shield, and now it's just a farm down, and let's see if we can get this Shadow Sneak off against that Tapu Fini, and we do. GG's. Lucky for us, they didn't have a move yet. They needed to get to a Moon Blast. A Surf would not have KO'd, so well-timed and great end game right there. Remember, we both had Haxorus, and then we caught him. We tried to catch a move, but then they just threw their debuffed Earthquake, so it allowed us to get that little energy advantage. Here we have another great matchup, expecting them to switch out, and once again, the Giratina switch-in is a problem. Maybe instead of throwing this breaking swipe. We should be swapping into our Regi. Okay. Looks like we're going to have to shield this first one just to maintain his health. That Sand Slash is unfortunately going to be able to get some good energy because they're probably going to be able to farm this Giratina down that we have. Unless we let it go. So far, it looks like we are throwing this right before they get to another move. But like I said, this now allows their Sand Slash to get a bunch of energy, which is not what we want. So let's see how we wiggle out of this situation. We throw the Shadow Sneak, which just tickles. We're going to throw another Shadow Sneak, which is going to do the same thing. They actually shield to kind of just maintain the health. And now they have a ton of energy for our entire team, which is not good right now. We don't even have a move on our Haxorus, so we're just going to try to get a counter in. We do get one counter in. Are we able to survive a Ice Punch? No. So this is GG's. The Giratina switch in, I guess we have to come in with the Regi, I think. Or just sacrifice our own Regi as well. Okay, they actually try to catch a move here, which gives us a very small window of hope. They're going to be throwing a ton of serves, but I don't think they're going to be able to throw enough serves to take out this Regi without shielding. Here, we're going to, basically, we have to farm down this Tapu Fini at some point and get this last shield, but they know that they don't have to shield. They're just going to throw another serve here to kind of basically whittle this thing all the way down. Okay. And now they know that they can just farm us down because they have a shield and the Shadow Claws are going to be doing neutral damage at least. So, GG start one right there. We need to figure out a better way to deal with the Giratina switch-ins or even Dragon switch-ins in general. Because we need that Haxorus on the Sand Slash with either even energy or even shields. So maybe we can make that adjustment. So far, the Sand Slash and Giratina core has been pretty popular, so be prepared for that. Here we have the Giratina lead. We're going to try our best to try to catch a move eventually. We throw this breaking swipe to debuff them. We try to catch, unfortunately we don't, but they actually switch into their Melmetal. Now we're pretty much either going to get a shield or we're going to, okay, they actually let it go, which is fine. Now we just have to either shield his superpower and get a ton of energy, because now all of their superpowers are debuffed. As you can see here, that second one only did probably like 20%. This next one's going to do even less, probably like 15% right there. And then now, since they're triple debuff, we just go for the Flash Cannon. We try to undercharge, try to get some extra energy. Unfortunately, that does not happen. This Giratina is forced to use some energy. They throw the Shadow Sneak, doesn't KO. We throw this Flash Cannon to try to get this Giratina as low as possible. And at this point, we just switch out because we had 2 dragons for this Giratina, so we might as well use one of them. And then we just gotta hope what's in the bag is gonna be able to be handled with this Haxorus Giratina combo. And it ends up being the Tapu Fini. The thing about the Tapu Fini is, even though it's throwing resisted water guns, it is still able to chunk away. So this is most likely a Surf. We decided to shield it just to maintain the health of this Giratina, because the idea now is to try our best to try to waste enough time. We tried to throw a little bait there, they didn't fall for it. We're trying our best to waste enough time to catch a move. We need to get a shield here somehow. We do get this. Perfect. We do get the shield, and then now we go for the double bait. Do they fall for it? Looks like they don't. Great job by my opponent on keeping that last shield, and even better patience by my opponent over there. Basically, they were waiting for us to either switch or make a move, and well done. GG's to our opponent right there. Really, really good end game by my opponent. So, a little bit of a rough situation. That last game, we just had a tough lead, and it kind of just snowballed. The Giratina versus the Haxorus, we were trying to catch, but unfortunately we didn't catch anything. So we had these Escavalier versus that Haxorus, not the best for us, so we immediately switch out. They come back in with their Origin Giratina, which is very odd. It's usually a good sign for you if you switch in and they bring a similar thing. I mean, of course, this is Origin, but they're basically saying their best counter to this Giratina is their own Giratina. So we already have energy advantage. We know that we can potentially farm this down. Perfect. Perfect. Now, if the Escavalier comes in, we have energy for it. Even though we invested a shield, we should be looking for a potential switch out. Maybe we're trying to catch a move somewhere. Okay, perfect. Once again, we had the feeling that our Giratina was valuable for their backline, so that's why we decided to switch out. Here, we force all the energy from this Escavalier. Now we have a decision to make. Do we come back in with our Giratina, or do we try to farm down with the Regi? Looks like we come in with the Giratina. We decided to throw the Dragon Claw right before they get to a move. It looks like they were going to get to a move anyways, so we threw a move, and ends up being the Lucario. This is very interesting. We have to go for the Shadow Sneak here. We do try to catch a move. Let's see if we do catch maybe like a Shadow Ball. We do catch the Shadow Ball, which is fantastic. Now it's a race to the charge where they have to go for some power-ups here, I believe. Makes sense. And now we're going to get this last shield. This last shield is very important because even though Lucario is crazy, it is pretty fragile. So we're doing our best to make sure we are throwing on optimal timing. We go for the first Shadow Sneak here. We know that they cannot hold 2 Shadow Balls, so we decided to shield there, and we actually get to the Shadow Sneak. GG's to our opponent right there. We actually found a way to win that. Check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.